What it is, y'all, what it is. I see we have video. I think we got some audio. Mike's working. Sweet. Put it on the calendar. Happens once in a great while. Up and running. Thanks. Appreciate that, Dan. Not too bad yourself. All right. Back in the grind. A week off from the stream. I don't know what's going on here. What do? We play cards. We play some space cards, some spaceships. Pew pew, and some music and some chat. Thank you so much, VQ, for bringing over the crew with you. Hope the rest of your stream went well. And Pallard Radio, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. We got Matt Cutter in the house and Simple Web Guy as well. Got some Origins recap to go over. We got some games to get going here. I understand Matt is threatening me. Threatened me with missions? Whatever, I don't care. I'll beat you down with those two. That'd be fine. And we've got a Origins injury report to go over as well. Yes, that's right. I apparently injure myself just by existing. You know, when I wake up in the morning and I think about getting out of bed, I hear the little sound in my head going, it's time for a physical challenge. So, Origins was an absolute blast. It was a banger as always. So many of the usual suspects. The Origins crew was there. And then met so many new people as well that I haven't met before. That was awesome. And of course, any excuse to hang out with my ride or die, my homeboy, Matt the Cutter. It's always a good time. So, to the injury report. Made it to the whole weekend just fine. So Sunday night, I got the hotel room to myself. And I come walking around the bed, and we got the chair. I had the chair pulled out. I hit my little toe on my left foot on the chair. It hurt. It hurt a lot. I'm like, okay, great. Did I break my toe or something? Because that would be my luck. I break my toe or something. And then I've got to drive back to Wisconsin from Ohio. There was a few harsh words said. Some language I would not want my child to hear. No, I'm sure he hears it already on games, whatever. So no, I check it out. And actually what I did is my toenail was a little bit long. It wasn't like hanging like a wolf or something, but it was a little bit out there. And it clipped on the edge of the toenail and it popped like, it's hard to explain, like popped like part of it off. Like along like the inside and then a little bit on the base, like popped it up. And I'm like, what the hell do I do? Like my toenail is basically like 50% off. So I did what I needed to do, and the rest of that thing came off. It's feeling a little better now. It was really painful for the past couple days because I had like a Band-Aid on it. And like the Band-Aid, whenever it rub against the sock or the shoe or something, would just drive me nuts. But put a little Neosporin on there. Got the fresh bandages on there. Took a little ibuprofen, sucked it up like a man, and it actually feels okay. It does not feel bad right now. It's been a long time since I've had like a just weird thing like that with a toenail just get ripped off. A long time. I can't even remember the last time. When I was like a kid or something. Yeah, just took that toe right off. Just reached down and snapped it right off. Took that toenail right off. Luckily I just happened to have some Band-Aids in my travel stuff with me. I don't know why, but that worked out great. Cleaned it off, threw a Band-Aid on there, called it a night, went to bed. Good times. So that's what I do when I'm left alone. My own vices, I find a way to injure myself. So a good time. Otherwise, the rest of Origins was fantastic. Dan, great seeing you as always. VQ, it was wonderful meeting you. Lots of good food, lots of good hanging out, lots of board games, card games. Sunday afternoon, I got in some Super Show wrestling with the Bird Law and his friend. And then I got a game of Commander in that I won in the weekend there. And then obviously Star Realms, Hero Realms, board games, Blockist, Can't Stop. We played other stuff. I don't remember. It was a good time. But mostly, again, meeting the people. Legends events did not go so well this year. And sometimes it's like that. 2-2 in the Hero Realms Legend event. Came in 10th place. Did not make top 8. And Star Realms was even worse. I think I was 3-3 or 2-4. I don't remember. The last half of that tournament was a blur. I do recall playing against Lux and getting him down to 1 health and not being able to kill him the following turn twice. And the one time he had no base or anything out. Like he immediately reached on and started picking up his stuff. And I said, whoa, sir. Sir, have you seen my stream? Do you understand what happens now? And I drew 5 cards and not a single one of them did a point of damage. Yeah, it was a good time. It's a good time. So, and then another time I got him down to 1. He had a small outpost out. I had a couple damage and I couldn't get through the outpost and kill him. It was one of those. And then my other game, I had another really weird game. Can't remember if it was against Ian or someone else. Basically the same thing. I got him down, couldn't finish him off. It was just a rough beats, but that's fine. It is what it is. Like I told my son, he asked me, hey, did you win? I'm like, no. Did my best, I felt I played well. But it's like, win these Legend events. I'm fortunate enough to be one of the few people that's got a Hero Realms and a Star Realms Legends win. To get like even top 8 and then, to get further and actually complete it and win it, it's like a fluke. It really is. It feels like the right, amount of skill and luck and everything just has to align at the right day, the right time, and then it comes through. So it is what it is. But I had a really good time elsewhere outside of that. I got in some of the vending action on Sunday. I regret not hitting the vendors earlier than that. I do not think I spent nearly enough time in the vending area. Would have liked to spend more time there. Did get a chance to hang out with Rob on Sunday afternoon and talk with him for a little bit. And that was a good time. Oh, also for people that donated tickets to me for the drawing for the last Nova kit on Sunday. I don't know. I had like 10 people gave me tickets. So I don't know whose tickets were who. And then Dave gave me the real idea of take all the numbers, throw them in an Excel sheet on my phone and sort them. So I did that and that was awesome. We were literally 1 number off. Like the last 3 numbers, like the whole thing was like blah, 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 like 294. And the number was 293. We were 1 number off. That was brutal. That was rough. So, good times though. And speaking to Rob as well, y'all may recall I had some promos signed by Mr. Darwin. I've held off on giving those out on stream because now I actually took those with me and got Rob to sign them as well. Figured I may as well. I'm going to be there. He's going to be there. Thank you so much to Jessica at Wise Wizard Games and Rob as well. But Jessica really facilitated that for me, so I appreciate that. And so we're going to be giving out some promos on stream. I don't remotely have anything set up for that right now. Short week, had to get back to work, so we're lucky we even streamed today. But most likely next week or after that. Next week actually is 4th of July. So I don't actually know if I'll be streaming next week. So just a heads up, I may or may not be streaming because the different areas do fireworks on different days. Also, we have like a whole like community event thing that goes on from morning till night on the 3rd each year. So who knows? I don't know what's going on. I just show up. I just do what I'm told. So let's go ahead and I don't know what this is. Oh, this is Pets. Yeah, I just grabbed a random 90s grunge rock mix. So we're going to do this up. Beyond that, though, again, fantastic meeting so many new people, hanging out the usual suspects, and like I mentioned, hanging out with Matt as well. Good food, good games. In general, just a great time all around. Maybe I can do it next year. I don't know. I make no promises. It's kind of a big commitment with the family and everything going on, so I don't want to be too presumptuous that it'll happen right away. But let's go ahead and hop in here. Let's get the stream going. I know I have some matches in progress. Sounds like Matt again will be sending over some challenges for our usual best 2 out of 3 challenges to defend the stream time. And there's nothing as far as Star Realms news, Hero Realms news, really. Hero Realms, again, they did do the final update, so they do have all the dungeon promos in the app now. If you're a Legend tier backer, you have access to the beta promos. Again, my card is in there as part of the second half of the group in there. I did want to plug Realms Rising podcast. Of course, their Discord as well, but definitely their podcast. Make sure you check that out. Fantastic podcast that Chris and John and Filterphobe, can't remember his real name, but the 3 of those put that on, and it is just a great podcast. I actually, of course, paid attention to the last couple episodes specifically because they were breaking down the dungeon promos cards and kind of go through them, and really good insight and things like that. Like one thing they brought up, like about my card, that Filterphobe pointed out was my Hero Realms card is an 8-cost card. It's the only 8-cost card, not just champion, but champion or action, that actually doesn't either draw or cycle a card. It has like no draw mechanic. I know John had talked about joking around, like asking me about that. I will say I had a little bit of input, or at least like kind of like ideas bounce back and forth between me and Darwin. But I did try to get like some sort of draw mechanic on there as well. And it sounded like the numbers for like the damage and health gain and defense would be pretty severely dropped or whatever that, which totally is fair. Totally fair. I definitely stress that I'd rather have the numbers. I'd be good with that. And they were very generous with the numbers on my cards. So I'm very happy about that. I think Filterphobe pointed out that overall, just stats wise, my card has the most amount of like total stats between like damage, life gain, defense of any card in a game right now. But it doesn't have a draw. So it's got like it's offset from that. So it's pretty cool. Yes, shout out to Ohio Pinball. Oh my god. Again, I'm so glad we decided to go to Level Up. Pins Mechanical is awesome. And actually, I was talking to my coworker who lives in Columbus today, and she told me about some other places there too. So it sounds like they have even more places that are pretty cool. 16-bit is one of them that's supposed to be pretty decent. But definitely Level Up, or Level 1 Plus, that we went to. Those machines were, as we were talking to them and Matt was talking to the owner, they do, leagues, tournaments, very high-level competition there. The machines were in pristine condition. They had such a great variety of machines there. We just saw like the difference, like playing the Star Wars game there versus Brucadia. Like in Brucadia, nothing against it. It was like a normal machine you'd see in any place. You wouldn't think anything of it. It wasn't like the most well-kept machine, but it wasn't like beat up either. Versus you go to a place like that and all these machines are running smooth and slick. Everything's turned on to the max. It was so cool. So very, very cool to see. And of course they had the new version of the Metallica game there, which was phenomenal just to even watch it, just to see it, but then to play it on top of it. Very, very cool. And they had like a lot of the top machines there, so it was awesome to see. Good stuff. So yeah, like I said, definitely cool. Like even outside of Origins, just hanging out at all the cool places to go there is pretty neat. So yeah, let's go and hop in here. And I did not, Dan. So that's actually something I talked about a little bit. It's actually a buddy at work is asking me, look, would you come home with a bunch of board games? I thought about it. I really didn't. I got a train game that Matt had like won from the board game library. So me and the kid might check that out. It looks like it's pretty complicated though, so we might hold off a little bit on that. But besides that, I did it. I bought like some random stuff. I did buy my son this pretty cool. It's like like an alchemist jar container, and it's got like a cork and everything. And on it says what did it say? It said "Tears are my victims" or "Tears are my enemies" or something like that. And I just thought that was perfect. My son absolutely geeked out over that. That was awesome. So he's got that on his computer desk right now. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I did reach out. I reached out a little bit when they talked about giving out things for demo on stream. And I wasn't really sure or clear like how much. I guess I could have talked to Rob in person about it. I didn't even think about it. And again, it's fine. You know, and then Rob gave me a demo, but then you bought it. I don't know what that means. But yeah, as far as like getting like demo copies of things, but I don't do, and the one thing I thought about too is I don't normally like, my stream is basically all digital. I do the digital games. I'm not really doing much of like the physical games. And I'm not really posting on social media and stuff. So I didn't feel right asking for anything like that. As far as that, like anything bigger. With Alamistic, I did catch your stream, Dan, and it does look very cool. I checked out just a little bit there. I didn't like learn how to play it or anything. Yeah, that's cool. I did play Pack the Essentials. I learned how to play that. I did finally sit down and play some Star Realms Academy just to check it out and see how that was. And then I did also check out Caution Signs. And all three of them were fantastic. Pack the Essentials, that was actually pretty fun. It seems like a super simple, easy game until you like look at the strategy of like the 4 different colors, the different objects, shapes. If you want to flip an item over to the cat, or if you want to leave it as the clothing item, the different point systems. It was pretty interesting. So yeah, shout out to the Wise Wizards booth and all their employees and volunteers that were working that, demoing the games, managing that crowd. That must have been crazy. But yeah, they were really great, super friendly, super helpful with demoing the games and things like that. So it's pretty cool. Good stuff to see. So let's go ahead and also shout out to Silent Al for winning the Hero Realms Legends again. I think he's won it 3 times now. So that's absolutely bonkers, but he is an absolute beast if you've ever played him in Star Realms or Hero Realms. But very, very well done. Congratulations to him. And then congratulations to Jackie for taking down Star Realms, I believe also for the 3rd time for her, which is absolutely bonkers also. So congratulations to her as well for taking on the Star Realms Legends event. And shout out to just everyone in general that showed up, played. Great competition. Everyone was in high spirits. All my opponents were fun to play against. And again, just the whole community vibe in general was great. With the Hero Realms people, the Star, except for that Double Dubs guy, man, that guy's attitude. I'm just kidding. Dubs, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate that. It was great seeing you, hanging out with you as well. Just like I mentioned, I got to play against Dubs, I believe, in Hero Realms in the Hero Realms Legend Tournament. Just everyone in general, it's so refreshing for some of us that are used to like other card game tournaments and things like that at our local stores that are not always as high-spirited, I guess I'll say. So, yeah, I did see that Dan Caution Signs won the Origins Award of some sort. Very well deserved it. It's fun. We just played a little quick demo of it just to learn how to play it. And just simple, fun, easy party game. If you're used to the old app Draw Something, where you have like something you have to draw and your friends have to guess what it is, it's kind of like that, but it's like it's got a spin on it where there's like to mix them up, and then you want the person to be able to guess it. You both get points if they do. I did see that as well, Dan. Dan got Danielle to sign his copy of that game. So good stuff. And that's great that they were able to take that down. Wise Wizards, they're smart. They see good games. They bring it up. Sorcerer is a phenomenal game. They see these other party games. They see these other IPs, you know, or the things that they're getting into. It's good stuff. So, all right, let's go ahead and hop in here and see what we can get done. We're going to get some games in here tonight. Again, I've got a mess of games already in progress. But as always, if anyone wants to send over a challenge, feel free to do so. Look at this tough guy rolling here as well. Oh, you guys weren't here for the beginning of the stream. So you guys missed out on the injury story. Got an injury report from Origins this year. So since Double Dubs and Tough were there, again, Tough, it was great meeting you for the first time. As well, make sure you tell Mark I said what's up. Also, Mark made my weekend. That dude is hilarious. I love Mark's humor matches mine a lot. So I thought it was a good time. Close. There was a bashing, and it wasn't a table. It was a bashing of a toe on the chair in my hotel room Sunday night. You leave it to me. So again, what it is, I must have caught the nail or something, and I hit the toe, and it hurt. There's some things that were said that I'm glad no one was present for, especially my child. And I'm like, great, did I break my freaking toe or something? Like, I'm here now by myself. I'm in, 3 states away from home. That leave it to me. So I check it out. Toe is actually okay, except for my toenail. Like, I must have caught it, and my toenail was a little bit long. It wasn't like hanging or something like that, but it didn't need to be cut. And it was like popped up on the side. It's hard to explain, like popped up, and then like around the side and about halfway down the bottom was like popped off. And I was just like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. So it's like half hanging off already, so we just sucked it up and ripped that thing right off. It was a good time. It hurt. And yeah, luckily I had band-aids in my luggage. That was awesome. So yeah, just cleaned it off, put the band-aid on it. It's been painful the last couple of days. Like I said, mostly from like having a band-aid on, like I'd swap it out, and then like that bouncing against my shoe or something like that, and like hitting like the nerves that are exposed there or whatever. But it's better today than it was the last couple of days. Again, I put some Neosporin on there, took some ibuprofen, sucked it up like a big kid. It was a good time. I just like, leave it to me. I'm just glad it happened then and not like earlier, and like I'd be like hobbling around. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I did plug the pod as well, guys. So yeah, speaking of the Devil, Tough and Double Dubs and Filterphobe are the ones that do the again, Realms Rising pod. So make sure you check that out. Again, I did listen to a couple episodes of that on my way down. At least the one episode for sure that had my card on there. But yeah, so tell us recap, and then I took some time to make up the second team. Yeah, the Lanyard game looks phenomenal. Also looks like you have a serious addiction problem with that, which as a fellow collectible game person, I get 100%. Totally get it. So, all right, let's go and hop in here. Again, we have a challenge from the Cutter. He's going to be sending over a challenge. We're going to play best 2 out of 3 match here. Again, if anyone else would like to send over a challenge, feel free to do so. I'll take those. And Tough and Dub, since you might have also missed that, I did get some promos that I had previously signed by Darwin. I held off on giving those out on stream because I knew I was going to Origins. I'd meet up with Rob. So I had Rob also sign them. So now I'll be giving out some promos that are signed by Darwin and Rob. Yeah, the team building aspect of it, I'll have to learn more. But I did just like the idea of just having the lanyard with the abilities, and it's something unique. It's fun. All right, let's go and hop out here. Also, shout out to everyone that signed my playmat. I had such a good time with that the last time I did that in 22, when I took a playmat with my Star Realms art on there. Had basically everyone sign it, and I just labeled it Origins 22. And then I did the same thing this time. I did my Hero Realms art on there, labeled it, and that was kind of cool. That's kind of like my trophy of the event. All the people I met, the reminders, memories, all that good stuff. So I'll stop getting too sappy here. Matt did not send over missions. So I don't know if it's just because Matt loves me that much, or he's a liar, or he's a liar and he loves me. Either way, we got some core sets. We do have the best expansion in the game. No bias here at all. And we do have some Universal Storage Box promos. So let's go ahead and accept this challenge. So, yes. Yeah. So the game phone thing, I mean, we should be doing that like now, right? Like, I mean, is that the deal? Like soon? So when I did talk to Rob, so I spent some time talking to Rob on Sunday, right at the end of the con. And he did share some information about they're going to be putting out an update probably towards the end of this month, early next month, as far as that's concerned with the new set, Conquest. Nice. Good job, Matt. Yeah. Oh, especially Corey Bear showing up out of nowhere. What? That was awesome. It was so cool. I was trying to explain to, a buddy of mine at work. We're talking. He asked me about the origins and everything. And I told him, I said, it's really cool. Like some of these people you'll talk to for years and years and years online, the community, Discord, Facebook, games, leagues, and stuff like that. And then never meet them. And then all of a sudden, boom, you have an opportunity to hang out and get to meet each other. So that's cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, I don't want to say much. I don't want to take any steam off your guys' podcast. He probably gave me some of the same information, I imagine. So I don't want to take any steam off of that, but I'm excited. I'll just say that. I am excited. Let me go ahead and just take a couple of bad purchases here and then pass the turn. So definitely looking forward to that. So again, keep an eye out for Sparks and Rec. Check it out on the Discord, or you go to sparksandrec.com. I'm not sure if you feel free to drop a link in there. I usually get their podcast right on Spotify, but I know they have it available on other avenues as well. Probably right on the website and a few other places. But yeah, very entertaining, guys. I love what you guys have continued. That started out just Androser doing that by himself. And then it kind of grew from there. And I'm so glad that you guys kind of talk about that a little bit in the last episode about, 80th episode. You're keeping it going, carrying on the tradition. And I agree. It's so very cool. There it is. Make sure you guys check that out. realmsrising.com. All right, Matt, what are you doing here? What do you think you're doing? I'm taking me a parasite, and there's nothing you can do about it, sir. Nothing. Very cool stuff, though. Yeah, like I said, check that out. And they break up their podcast. They'll talk about like what's going on, leagues in the app, leagues in the Discord. They'll talk about what's going on with the app itself, updates, game balances, game changes. They do some really cool scenarios where they pose like, what would you do in this situation? And they'll like post it on the Discord. They'll get some responses, and then they'll talk about it on there as well. I think that's really cool. I think that's pretty slick. We want to acquire an aging battleship for free. That seems pretty good. Light cruiser out there, huh? So my opponent most likely has, well, I mean, they could have 4 or 5. Let's take a look here. Do we want to buy the hero or smoke the hero? Let's maybe buy it first. No, I could kill it and then just take one of the orbital gun platforms, most likely. I think I'm going to do that. Or I'm going to buy a cutter. Alright, so either way, I'm glad I did the choice that I did. So here's where you get that tough choice of how much Explorer stuff do you want to keep. I'm actually going to grab another Explorer and then keep them both for a cycle. We'll see how that works out. But it sounds like everyone had a good, safe, uneventful trips home, I hope. I know Kinnison, he had like a 4.5 hour plane delay or something like that. Some nonsense. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Do your thing. I do the same thing. I've got my earbuds right at my nightstand there. And it's hilarious because I do that because she's sleeping, but she's got her show on, like, freaking full blast. Some crazy thing. That is crazy. So my interactions with TSA also are just absolutely bananas. Last time I went out to Vegas to go visit Matt and Edna 23. On the way there and the way back, I'm literally wearing... I don't even know if I was wearing a hat. Let's just say I was wearing a baseball hat. I have shoes, socks, underwear, very loose basketball shorts, a very loose t-shirt, and my wedding ring. I don't think I was wearing a watch, nothing. Both times, my central area set off their scanner. Enough where they, when you go through the scan thing, and then they come out and then they wand you, and they say, we've got to check. And both times I'm looking at them like, I'm literally, you can actually probably see through as far as I mean, I'm wearing very little. Like, what am I hiding here? And they were cool about it, but, you know, the both times asked, like, do you want to go? I'm like, no, we'll just do it right here. I don't care. And they do the whole feel-up thing right there. Both ways. I was wearing different shorts, different t-shirt each time. I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. And then I've gone other times with like full on, like thick jeans, jersey. Now jersey, they do at least pat you down normally because like your underarm areas with a jersey is like, it's pretty dense and it's hard to see through, and the scanner won't go through that very easy, I guess. So whatever, I'll give them that. But yeah, when I'm wearing basically like nothing and I'm getting scoped out, I'm like, what's going on here? It's pretty crazy. All right, let's get to business here. I really don't want to buy that trade hauler. Oh my god, especially with this action going on. So we will not be grabbing that trade hauler. Let's go ahead and get through here. Yeah, bag check for sure, especially if you got the cards in there. Usually I carry a black Ultra Pro case, like an old school one. Or like, you know, just old straight box. And every time that gets open and it gets bomb swabbed, and I'm like, please don't wipe anything on my cards. And they're very cool. They'll like wipe or whatever. They get it. Most of the time they get it. Let's take this out of the equation. And I don't think I can afford to pass on any more damage. Even though I do just kind of want to grab that jamming terminal. I'm just going to grab the jamming terminal. Because if I can get that into my next deck, that could do some good things for me. Hopefully. We'll see what happens here. But yeah, that's one of the nice things about driving. I don't have to deal with any of that. Now, granted, where I live, it's like just about the edge where it's a comfortable drive time. Except for the insane amount of... What are we hiding there? Imperial Fighter, okay. The construction. Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, all 4 states. If there's a spot of road there could be construction, it was there. It was crazy. So that's supposed to be a good card, not a scout. So I'm most likely dead this turn. That's unfortunate. I liked my deck a lot. But I think I just got a little bit away from focusing. And yeah, this is all thinned out there. Or my opponent could not kill me this turn, and they lull me into a false sense of security that I have a chance, but they're at 29, so I don't actually. If I at least had a yellow to ally here to get a third draw, maybe? But yeah, so this comes out here by itself, and it doesn't ally either. So now we're dead. So I'm assuming my opponent can do the 6 damage with this mess here. So we'll just grab this guy here for the heck of it. Holy smokes. There's a paragraph. That's awesome. Good game, Matt. Good game 1. Yeah, you get that TSA pre. That's a good thing. Especially when you got all that going on. Yeah, that is just amazing. Yeah. Like I said, some of the, why they check or why they say they're checking it, it's like I said, I was just watching a video that day or the day before, like right around the time beginning of Origins, where Terry Bradshaw, basically same thing. He went through the scanner, didn't go through. They wanted him, they patted him down, and then they also took him to a back room. And he's like standing there with like his dress pants and his shirt's untucked, his dress. He's like, what are you guys doing? And sure enough, they like took him back, and it's like, it is what it is. They're doing their job. But on the other hand, yes, X2 Wolf, ever since we met up with him, he's been sending me challenges. We've been going back and forth. So that's been fun. X2 Wolf has been revealed. We did hang out with him. I think it was Wednesday night. Yeah, we went to Old North Arcade. We're hanging out, and it was like me, the Cutter, Lux, Birdlaw's friend, Brian. Almost positive it's Brian. I have a feeling I'm calling him right. No, it's Brian. And then Matt's like, Scott. I keep calling him Brian. I don't know why. I have no idea why. Yes, Scott. It is Scott. Thank you. And he's like, yeah, X2 Wolf showing up. I'm like, yeah, bullshit, whatever. This is just an ongoing joke these guys have. Sure enough, he was there. He showed up. He hung out, played games. It was a good time. So it's cool meeting him. And then as you saw, he came out Sunday for the event. Yep. And Sunday's a pretty cool deal. Like, they have that deal. It's like, apparently it's like $15 to get in on the badge just if you do just Sunday. So it's kind of cool. It's a shorter day for the event. But that's a nice way for some people to get in just to check it out for a day. Especially like families. You're paying for multiple tickets and things like that if your kid's over a certain age. Yep. So that Epic crowd. Yeah, Epic was it was alright. I never really got into it too much. I know Matt got really into it for a while. And yeah, I learned it enough to play it and like understand what I'm doing. But that was really about it. So me and Rob actually talked about that a little bit, about Star Realms kind of like taking over a little bit more. And Epic, he's kind of, self-admitted. He's like, it's cool. They sold a ton of it. And that's why it was kind of their flagship product for a while. And then the unfortunate part is there's not a lot of repurchasability for it or need to. And it is what it is. Yeah, it's cool. Except if you ever want to get into Palo Radio, Matt the Cutter here, he is pretty well versed into it. He played in the 100K championship event. So he grinded it out quite a bit, learning some of the different formats. I do like the adaptability of Epic, where you can do, with the cards, you can do cube. You can do constructed, you can do draft, you can do like dark draft. For me, dark draft that they do is extremely similar to an old, what we used to call continuous draft for Magic, Magic the Gathering. And that was actually probably one of my all-time favorite ways to play. So continuous draft is, you would take, I think we'd take like 6 packs of cards, something like that. Like if you're doing like a draft event, and you would shuffle them up, and then you determine who's first, and then you would deal out 4 cards. And then whoever won would go first. They would pick a card. Then the next person would take 2 cards. And then the first person would be left with the 1 card. And then you'd go back the other way, you redeal them out, and now player 2 would take 1 card. The other person would take 2, and then player 2 would take the last one. You go back and forth until you're out of the cards. And then you quick construct a deck out of that, and then we'd play a match. We had a continuous draft league for that going at my old store for quite a while. And it was so much fun. Because you could use, any sets for that. You can mix and match. And it was a good time. It was a really, really good time. And that's what dark draft is in Epic. except Epic obviously has set cards. But yeah, like I said, yeah, definitely hit up Matt. He would be a great resource for going through that, sitting you down, show it to you, play a game, show you how it's done. Yeah, that's the cool thing too. The app is 100% free for Epic, so if anyone ever does want to check it out, you can do so. Can't find the Apple Store. Don't know what to tell you about that. I'm gonna check right now real quick. I believe it's still in Steam. Epic Card. Yep, Epic Card Game is in Steam, and it is free. So you can get in that, and then it's again, I don't know. Try searching Epic Card Game. So I had to look that up in Steam. Tough. Might be something you have to switch on that, and then I'm gonna check Google real quick too. It's the same thing too. Like once you have the app on one, I believe it counts for all three of them. Just waiting for the cutter here to take his turn. Let's go, guy. Do it. Epic Card Game. Yeah, it is actually called Epic Card Game, I guess. Yes. Yep. So, yep, it's on there. I just found it on Google. So, yeah, I assume same iOS then. Yeah, like I said, check it out. It's fun. It is fun. I'm not saying it's not fun. It's just, it's different. The way you basically are kind of playing chicken against the other person with your gold. Like, you get like 1 gold, but then a lot of cards don't actually cost any gold to play, but the powerful things will cost a gold. So you have to really debate, like, are you going to spend your gold? And then your opponent responds with something that costs a gold. Or, it's very interesting. All right, let's do this up. So we both got a little bit of trade, a little bit of econ. I have a potential scrapper that might actually scrap. We'll see. I'm not going to hold my breath. Does my opponent have 5? My opponent does not have 5. So that's pretty... Oh, well... I was like, slam dunk, conversion yard, let's do it. But then someone threw down a farm ship. And farm ship for me... Oh, it went down. That's unfortunate. See if you can update... Yeah. So because especially I have Builder Bot, and then potentially I have the ability to put a base on top and then draw it, I'm going to take the farm ship. And unfortunately, I waste a trade. That's a risk I took. But I think it's worth it. So unfortunately, we did put that on the bottom. Grrr. All right, we'll say recycling station for basically the same thing. We got Tough thrown in a challenge. Look at that. It's good because he's basically usually asleep at this time, so I can take advantage of him. Maybe he'll make some players. It'll be awesome. Looking forward to it. All right, let's get this going here. I got to get a win back here. I can't be going down to Mad 2-0. Can't be going out like that. Uh-oh, light cruiser out there. All right, let's do this up. Let's do it up the right way. There it is. Builderbot getting a scrap because of the discard. Give me that light cruiser. I'm all about that. Ooh. Do we got it? Yeah. We got that. And we still got enough left over for the Scrappazilla. Words? English language? Can I say it? Where am I going? Excellent hit next game. All right, let me get back here. Matt, you're not getting away that easy. Turn was definitely not illegal. Turn was within fair playground. Inbounds. Foot did not touch the out of bounds. And there was no ill-eligible receiver downfield. That to me is still the dumbest thing in the world. Like, you can just... I don't even fully understand that rule. Like, you can have an offensive lineman, like, declare themselves an eligible receiver. So does that mean they have to leave the line of scrimmage and go downfield? or they just can. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I get if they don't declare themselves, they can't go down the field. But sometimes they can if they're blocking. Why do I keep hitting next turn? So I'm so used to grinding through this queue. That's why. Let me get out of there. So, if anyone's got an answer for that one, you let me know. Otherwise, I'll just continue to beat my head against the wall whenever the refs call that. It's sad. It's like June's almost over already. It's like summer's already like a third over, which is crazy. But on this one hand, like I'm really looking forward to football, so it goes both ways. All right, Peacekeeper with the ally, baby. We like that, and we will get that Ravager as well. We got to do some damage here. Again, I'm not going down 2-0. It's just not happening. Well, I might now with that draw. We'll see. Oh, man, that's so rough. That's not good. Also, shout out to Birdlaw's fan-created formats, basically additions. Plasma Event, Parasite Combo, and I don't have the damage, of course, to take it out. Maybe two. Oh, yeah, I do. I have to buy the hero to do it. Let's do this up here. Let's kill that. Nice. Yeah, the Romulus stuff was very cool to check out. Beastmaster Romulus. Like we talked a little bit. To me, I definitely think Romulus was a little more. Let's scrap out the Pulverizer. A little more intriguing. Like I think the addition of the aliens, you'd possibly have the possibility of dying to aliens. Gave it like an extra little side thing, and then also the fact that all the heroes that you get with the Romulus things were all different. Whereas like the Beastmaster, like some of them were the same. I think the Beastmaster ones fit very thematically with Hero Realms and what they did, which was fine. But I think overall, just like interesting wise, I give the nod to the Romulus stuff. Very cool. Let's take a look here. So let's grab. Oh. Man, I think based on these life totals, we're going to grab this and put it on top. There we go. All right, so what does Dan got here? Offense does not get an unfair advantage because the uniform numbers dictate positions, gives a ref and defense knowledge the player may go downfield. I get it, but what's the difference? I mean, you have the same number of players on both sides of the field. Yeah, Beastmaster, I definitely saw that. Like, a couple of my games did snowball, and some of them just stalled on. We did nothing with them. Yes, yeah, the event deck for the Romulus thing is the thing exactly that kept it going. Well, I get it, but why is that a thing? Just because their jersey number says they play this position, why does that mean they can't go downfield? That's what I'm saying. Like that part of it, it's not a one-for-one thing. What do we got here? Did I just grab the nesting ground, or no? We go conversion yard here. I get alignment doesn't have the same number as I keep hitting next game, first of all. That's phenomenal. But why does that dictate that a lineman who's playing the line also couldn't just go downfield? I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's your defense's job then to me, Like, I think they all should be a possible threat. That's what I'm asking, Dan. Why? I get you're reiterating what the rule is, but there's no. I'm missing a part to understand. Like, why is that a thing? To me, it's not clicking. But I'm also dumb, so there's that. What do we want to do here? I think we want to. I don't know if I'm going to get blue here. That's the thing. We're going to try, though. So let's do this. Let's put this guy on top. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's get the free draw. That is not a Peacekeeper. That is also not a Peacekeeper. For the record, that's not a Peacekeeper, if you weren't aware. For those playing out along at home. Ah, it's based on rugby. Okay, well, that explains why it's messed up. Just kidding, for those people that love rugby. A buddy of mine used to game with for a number of years. He played rugby and at Ripon College in Wisconsin, I believe. It was at Ripon, something like that. And it just sounds like it was fun and a mess the whole time. Can I survive? Literally bottom deck the Peacekeeper. Right on the bottom right there. And my bottom decking skills don't just extend to digital. They were on full display in person as well. Buy the hot card, throw it right at the bottom of the deck after the shuffle. Ain't no thing. Alright, clearing out the bases. Let's get down to the wire. Hey, what's up, Command Chip? Alright, opponent's got some heat. Got some heat coming. Clear that out. Yeah, we are not buying anything. Oh, hang on. Yeah, on spin trade, yes. Yeah, we don't care about that. I'm just so used to the Hero Realms app where it'll apply damage for you. And the Star Realms app will not always. So we know he's got some heat there coming up. Alright, let's do this. Oh, we got it. We got the numbers, folks. Math just kicked in for me. It took a second, but it was there. Boom, boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Taking him down 1-1. Now, Matt, up to you. If you like, I could play this game with Tough. I do know it's a little later for him, and he's East Coast. And then I'll give us a little break here, and then I can come back to your third game. But again, I don't know what you've got going on there. If you're at the ladies' place or if you're at home, whichever we would like to go. Yes, of course, absolutely. I apologize. Very good game, game two. We got the rubber match coming up, 1-1. Do it. All right, Matt, or Tough, you are up. Let's do it. Get this challenge in here. And what is this nonsense? I love it. Got the night off. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so we've got the Frontiers. We got lots of events. We have one set of heroes. And we've got some other action here. So some dual faction cards. All right, let's do it up. I like this. Dun, 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 versus the Tough Tactics. Let's do it. Comet firing off round one. We got events all over the place. For those that may have missed it, we've got a Galactic Summit just giving us a little extra life, no big deal. But the turn one Comet brings up some decision points. So in this case here, my opponent, they scrapped 2 scouts. Very nice, very nice. And they're still able to get themselves a recycle bot. Now my opponent's stuck with 2 Vipers left, and they do not have veteran pilots. Now keep in mind though, my opponent also has exploration. So my opponent, deck 1, most likely will have 3 cards scrapped. 3 right there. So that's something we have to keep in mind. I hate this game so much. So I'm going to chase the trade envoy. Not scrap. So keep this in mind. I have 5 scouts. I've got asteroid mining, which is going to give me 1 trade, and then draw a card. Now, granted, I have 5 cards. 2 of the 3 are Vipers. What's going to happen is I'm going to draw a Viper. And then I'm going to say, well, I have 6 trade now, and I've spent all this. We really want to get that trade envoy. So that I'm going to use my 2-prong attack, and I'm going to spend both sides of this to draw a card. And then I'm going to draw the other Viper. And then I'm probably going to punch my monitor, and the stream's going to go offline, and, you know, you can go from there. So let's do it. Scrap and none. Asteroid mining. Mark it on the calendar. Mark it on the calendar. Once in a great, great while, it comes through. You know, it's just, it happens, man. It literally happens. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, I need some percentages on this. But again, the percentages aren't really that bad because, you know, you got 2 out of 5 cards are Vipers. So again, I would not have been entirely surprised by that. So what stinks now is I'm 3 scraps behind, but we're okay. So we're going to go ahead and grab this Assault Pod and Bio Warrior Amanda Storm. That is her Friend of Wise Wizard Games card, not her actual Legend card, but she did win a Legends event. And so she also has a Legend card. So I was going over someone, I can't remember who I was talking to about that. They're asking me, so this set, you know, the High Alert Heroes, all of the 1-cost cards are either Friends of Wise Wizard Games, or they purchase that tier of Kickstarter where you can pay so much to be a card in the game. It was all from versions of that. And then the people that are 3-cost cards, I'm fairly certain those are all actual winners of like Legend events. Swarm Cluster seems pretty good. Now, keep in mind here, opponent did not use, well, they didn't need to, so they took Swarming Point, which is annoying, because man, did we want that. We wanted the Swarming Point, but not meant to be. So there goes the gray market for blue. You got a long hauler and an outland station there. It's a pretty easy choice. Opponent looking for that 1 more trade for that pack pod. Yep. Definitely would have done the same. Absolutely would have done the same. Okay, so this is... I'm going to go digging for something, but I'm also don't feel bad because I want to... I'm going to clear this off here. That's not bad. We'll just go ahead and pop that for the draw. Alright, so we've got some trade to work with. 6 trade gets us a cargo craft and either a platform or a farm ship. Let's go and grab the cargo craft. And we're actually going to grab that farm ship. Just keep the cycling going a little bit. Unfortunately, no blobbies. Okay, note. I don't get it. I mean, there it is. Bottom card. I'm going to draw it because I have a card to draw it. But I shouldn't have to. It shouldn't be the bottom card. But it is. That's just the way it is. I don't know. I don't write the code, but the code writes me. Oh, album. Album name right there, Matt. That's the name of our next album. I don't write the code, but the code writes me. Alright, probably not. Working title. We'll work on it. Alright, opponent's getting all these cool cards here. Patience rewarded coming out with nothing great, unfortunately. But maybe my opponent will flip me something cool. Yeah, I think my opponent probably made the best choice here. Like that or Stellar Ray, and Stellar Ray is still would even be iffy for that. Eefy? Yeah, Eefy. So I don't want to buy that as a save card if I'm just going to go and do it right away. So we've got 5. We have 8 here. Do we want to... Yeah, whatever. We'll just pocket it. Then maybe I don't have to do it this turn. Let's get that going. We've got a nice little ally there for that. That's nice. We'll grab strategist Derek Thompson, who's also the cover art for the booster pack for High Alert Heroes. So congratulations to him. I'm a little jelly. But well deserved, well deserved. He won his Legend event, I believe, Origins or something like that, 2016. So he won it a while ago. He's one of the people that had to wait. I won mine in 2016, but it was in November as a Wise Wizard Games Fair. He had to wait a lot longer than I did. So now I got a decision to make here. I think I want to get a scrap. How's my health? How's my health looking? Yeah, we're gonna get a scrap in. And then I think we will, because we got a little bit of the green going on, kind of. Yeah, it doesn't hurt to grab this Plague Pod. Let's do that. All right, fire it up, do some damage fast turn. But yeah, I do like the dual faction heroes. I think they're obviously extremely useful. It's something you're never upset about buying. I feel fortunate with mine. I think mine is a good one early and late game. Getting it early and then the flexibility of, the damage discard to help take out a base, or using it early for a scrap. But then the late game, getting it for the damage and the discard, buying that straight off the row, I think is pretty cool. All right, so let's go ahead, and we got some work to do here. Opponent's drawing too many cards, doing too many things. Got themselves an alignment bot. Let's see if they scrap out. So they did miss a scrap with the recycle bot. I think they'll probably hang on to the alignment bot because of that, but we'll see what they do. Nope, they choose to pop it. I mean, they are pretty low on starters, so that actually kind of makes sense. Oh yeah, get the double scrap there. Yeah, then yeah, obviously don't hang on to it. Yeah, they're pretty stacked. So we know exactly what they got coming up, which is a nice advantage for us. Let's go ahead, and it's tempting to buy before we flip, but I think we're just going to go ahead and flip right away. We've got enough sauce coming up there. So we're going to need damage. What is up, Dion? Good seeing you, sir. Thank you so much for stopping in. Always great seeing you. Let's get this defender going. And then we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not getting enough damage. Well, we are definitely going to want enough damage. So unfortunately, we're going to lose our farm ship. So since we're losing the farm ship, should I have kept that other trade? No. We'll just go all damage. It'll be fine. It'll work itself out. Yeah, unfortunately, we got to pop the farm ship because we're not leaving that base set out again. No, sir. No, thank you. Yeah, Dion, you missed all the action. We've been yapping about Origins, yapping about Sparks and Rec podcast. There's going to be some spice in the next podcast, including some info from Mr. Rob Doherty. So make sure you check that out. You missed the Origins injury report. We won't go over it anymore. You can check the replay for that. We'll make you check it. That's pretty funny. And when you hear it, you're like, yep, that's something Dustin would do. So let's get a scrap in here. Let's buy the Stellar Ray. And I think we're going to pop the Plague Pod now. And get that fat damage in there. Alright, so we've got a Swarm Cluster, kind of protected by Conversion Yard. So there's a lot of damage has to come and take it out. Opponent does take out the Conversion Yard, but cannot get to the Swarm Cluster, which is hot. That is some good stuff. Alright, we got all sorts of sauce going on here. Oh my god, keep it coming, keep it coming. Oh yes, this is what we want to see. Cargo Raptor, looking hot. Alliance Frigate, always spicy. Yeah, yep. I managed to not get out of Origins without injury. Oh, I think we got the game here. I'm just math, numbers. I can't see what's going on right here in front of me. There we go. That is the actual medical description, Matt. That is correct. Top, thank you so much for the challenge. I appreciate that, sir. As always, good game. I got a little game ran away from me there a little bit. For sure, good game, though. Thank you so much for that. And again, like I said, definitely thanks for stopping in. I do know this is a later stream for the East Coast folks. So I do appreciate that. Let's go ahead and get over to game 3 then with the cutter. Again, we're 1-1 in this match. Going for game 2 to claim victory and dominance. And Matt is going first. This is a saucy roll. This is Aggro City with a Fred out there. So interesting. We'll see what happens. I assume my opponent's, yep, going to go Ravager. That would make total sense. You go Ravager. I'll try to take Missile Bot and see if I get some trade to flip. I don't. I don't really want to leave Blob Fighter out there for my opponent just so I can grab an Explorer. So I'm going to go grab the Blob Fighter. And then we'll follow it up with the Data Priest. And fingers crossed we didn't flip anything too great for my opponent. We did flip him a Predator. We're not happy about that. But we'll see what he ends up doing here. It goes for Destroyer Bot. Wow. So it's 4 trade and he did choose the Destroyer Bot over the Predator. So my opponent getting some big hitters in there. A 5 and a 6. We're going to go grab the Predator. Again, definitely can be argued if that's a correct play or not. Now, my question here, I'm going into the flip. Corvette's great, but I think I do want a chance to at least get some trade in. So at least I can buy like a 4 or 5 if they flip. So we'll see how this works out. Yep, I totally see that. Yeah, denying me the double scrapper for sure. And Destroyer Bot itself is just a beast doing 5 damage. So what I want to see now is my opponent drawing it in their opening hand. Because that is how you're supposed to do that. If you were talking to me, it's a great question. Am I supposed to be playing Cisco right now? Probably. I mean, I'm totally on it. Dion, what are you talking about? All right, we're going to do the Viper. Yeah, I sure am. Yeah, that game will be started shortly. So, I do appreciate Dion being on it. Getting the reminders out there. As much as I want Lancer, I do recognize that I want to... Why did my opponent draw the Destroyer Bot in opening hand? I don't get it. Plasma Bot. Keep up the scrap advantage because then also I do want to buy the Bioform Freeman. Get the ally damage here. And then pass turn. In fact, I will send that challenge right after this. Now, I'm not the only one responsible for sending challenges. I'm just saying. Yeah, I beat Starmark. And it probably told me right away my next opponent, and I'm sure I overlooked that. You know, that happens. Ooh. Federation Cruiser out there, and if we draw, we're guaranteed to get it, so we will be popping this guy for the Green Ally. Yep, and we'll definitely regret it. See, this is why I wanted the Explorer. So if there's, like I said, a good 5 or maybe even 6 now, we're going to kill the Explorer, even though there's a Battle Blob out there, which we really would like to get. We're still going to try to trim this down a little bit and try to get these greens to match up, and that's just not going to happen, apparently. But that's okay. So this kind of stinks, because I would love to get this orbital platform. But I think we're just going to go the aggro route here. Best of 3 with Cisco. Sounds good. So yeah, I did run into the last 2 people from Origins I ran into. I was hanging up by the outside area after the vendor hall closed. I did run into Divine Admiral Lee and Agent Seto out in like the little area there by, not the food court, but the one little kind of food court that's by the front area there. We sat there and shot shit for a while. Good guys. And that wrapped up, yeah, it's at the end of my Origins time there as far as that. And then afterwards, I went and checked out Big Fun, which is a retro collectibles and toy shop in Columbus. And that place is phenomenal. If you're, I'm into that stuff. I'm in multiple groups of that stuff. You know, I do have some of my own collectibles in that, and the selection they had, the rarity of some of the stuff they had was pretty damn cool. Old school play sets, like with boxes and everything from G.I. Joe, Transformers, Mask, you know, you name it, they had it. Like oddball stuff you don't see very often. Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters. I mean, just basically anything and everything. It was really cool to see. Oh, so this time I will pass up a scrap because I can get a Crusher. That's too much damage to pass up on. Oh man, this is just a boat race here that I'm losing, unfortunately. Even with this, I believe, scrap advantage, it just... my opponent's not been missing scrap though either. That Destroyer bot has been very kind. More kind than you usually see. But yeah, so I checked out Big Fun. That place was awesome. And then I wanted to get something different that I haven't had before in Columbus for dinner. So I swung by Thurman Cafe on Thurman Avenue or something like that. And they're well known. They have a burger called like the Terminator Burger. I didn't get that. So I went in there and there's already like a line. There's waiting to get in. And it was like a cool dive bar for people that haven't been there. It was pretty nice. Yeah, I agree, Tough. You know, the fact that it does a solid 5 without needing to ally makes it already an okay purchase for a 3. And then the fact that you can get scraps out of it is pretty cool. But yeah, I did get a pretty sizable, like all their burgers there are already 2/3 pound, hand-cut fries, all the good stuff. The guy next to me was also solo. They set us at the bar next to each other, which is pretty cool. And he did get that burger, and he took it down. And he was not a big guy. He was like Lux size. I mean, just like, you know, your normal average, like, you know, size guy, not very big. And he took that thing down. I was impressed. Excellent games, Matt. Tight as Jesus. That was tight. I thought for sure maybe I'd whiff there, but I did get it done just enough, as you can see. Doesn't get a whole lot tighter than that. Excellent match, Matt. Thank you so much for the challenges. Playing the victory sounds, getting it done. Very stoked. Can I check that up for you, sir? Yeah, 1 turn match. It doesn't get any better than that. If anyone else wants to send over a challenge, feel free to do so. Otherwise, I'm going to work through this queue. I apologize. I'm going to send out a challenge to Mr. Cisco here. Alvarez. It is easy. All right. And then this is going to be Fan League. And what are we doing here? We're doing Colony Wars. We're doing 2KA. We got 2KA. And then... Oh, is that high alert? Is that me? Say Heroes? I believe that's Heroes. And the D. Got the Newberg going. Send over a challenge. I can't spell, though. So we'll try it again. Cisco. Oh, there's an A there. I knew there was an A, but for some reason I got the A over. I thought it was over here. Yeah. There we go. Sorry, people work. I'm working with the English education system here. You know, work with me. All right, let's work on this here. All right, and best 2 out of 3. So I will send the other one over right away as well, because that's what you should do, people. If it's best out of 3, just send both of them right away. Just suck it up and do it. These people that say, I can only handle 1 game at a time, well, just slow play it then. I don't know. Just do it. Exactly. I'm bleeding out of my foot right now. I'm tapping out. I'm about ready to faint. No, it's fine, actually. It actually feels like... Earlier today, it was still like annoying me a lot, and right now it actually feels okay. Hylar Heroes. The single best set ever produced. No bias here whatsoever. All right, I don't like this. So we're going to have 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is not 10. It's also not 9. If I buy this, and then I can put next ship I acquire on top. So I think we'll do that. We'll buy the hero. What's Grandma got going on here? So Grandma could forgo the scrap. She might just buy Cargo Pod. You know what? I think I'm going to be pretty happy about getting a Merc Cruiser to the top here. Someone broke your pinky at PAX East? Oh, yeah. Are you talking about the wood tables stuff at Origins? Where they got like the weird edge and all of a sudden there's like, you know, a chunk of wood sticking in your arm? Alright. We're getting butt whooped here, but I think we'll grab this Fed transport. We'll get a scrap in here as well. And we're digging that. We're getting it. So she put out this base like early and I just could not deal with it. That base is brutal if you can get that out early. So, all right, let's get a couple turns in here real quick. So, for anyone showing up late as well, again, I did post in the group a while ago. I got some promos signed by Darwin Castle. That's going to give out on stream. I had made the decision to hold off on that once I realized I was going to go to Origins, because most likely I was going to run into Rob there. So Rob graciously signed a bunch of promos for me, or those same promos as well. So I'll be giving those out on stream together instead, with both their signatures. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know why I'm having, just speaking general language skills. Let's get that. Oh, let's go ahead and let's get some life gain here. Yeah, we're getting whooped up here. Yes. And then also, yes, I got my knees banged up. And every time we'd have like 3 sets of games at a table, basically the people on the ends are like banging into the edges. It was Terrible. And that whole where me and David almost throw down on that guy who was trying to like say he had Dave's tables, but he didn't have Dave's tables. And then he gave us these other tables that he said he had, and then found out he didn't actually have those. These other people came over for the whole Beastmaster event. That was such a shit show. The best part too is then the guy got all huffy and threw a fit. And like made like a scene out of it, and we're like, we're not the ones like lying about tables. Like, he's got these tables reserved. What do you want? Playing Legends with a broken pinky. Oof. Beach balls went to push the ball up. So I've been on the giving end of that, where we were now with beach balls, with the volleyballs. I actually had a work party for my team many years ago, and they just set up a volleyball, and we had it at my manager's house. And same thing, someone went to go for it, and I'm the person that went and whacked the ball when they put their hand up, and I just crushed their hand. And it instantly, just like black and blue, like instantly. It looked so bad. I felt so bad. Not my fault, though. Someone else says it just looks like it's jammed. Let me pull it out for you. And that person said, okay, I think you know what you're doing. And sure enough, they tried popping it. The finger was broken. It was bad. It was so bad all around. Like, the immediate scream, like, oh my God, stop, this hurts. And they went to the hospital and then found out, yeah, that was broken. And yes, trying to pop it was like the worst thing in the world you could do besides just amputating it. I felt bad because I broke their finger, but I didn't do more. I didn't it was just a shit show. It still cracks me up because they laughed about it afterwards, so if they can laugh about it, I can laugh about it. Good times. X2 Wolf, I'm going to grab this command cruiser and hopefully smack you in the head with it. X2 Wolf in the house does exist. Right there. Yeah, the whole spacing of the tables, again, that was still just... And then that person threw the fit, picked up some of their stuff that originally we were just moving over because we didn't know whose it was. No one was there. And, like, as we start picking up, the guy's like, oh, that's my stuff over there. Like, well, pick up your shit. Whatever. All right, let's go ahead and let's do a green. And I think we got her. Select none. And then, yeah, this can just be yellow because it doesn't matter. I think we got the supply by here. Pop that for a draw. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. Got the supply bot. Send that rematch. So I've got kind of like rotating challenges here with some people. Matt, is our game art? Did we not finish our... Okay, so we did our match. That must be this one here. Right? I won, you... Maybe not. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, it wasn't this, so yeah, hang on, let me ship this. Take that off, there we go. Alright, got a game here at the AC Ford. AC Ford is someone from Board Game Geek. I honestly do not know who they are. Oh, okay, yeah, not a problem. Like I said, you can just don't accept it or just accept it and play as slow as you want. I don't care. That's my suggestion. Just accept it and then play once every other day. Or again, if you think even that's too much, don't worry about it. Yeah, you don't have to play right now or anything like that. Let's get the scrapper. Yeah, so AC Ford, they posted in some Star Realms forum on there. And then I posted a response about something. They were talking about matches online. I said, yeah, feel free to send me a challenge anytime. And then he's just been sending me challenges like ever since. There was someone else too. It was probably like a good 8-9 years ago, maybe 7-8 years ago, something like I can't remember. And I don't know who this person was. It was a random queue game, and they sent me a rematch, and I accepted, and we played. And they just kept sending a new match after our game ended. So they're very respectful. They weren't one of these people that just spam the challenges afterwards. And we had challenges going for a good like year and a half, and then one day they just stopped. And I can't for the life of you tell you this player's name. I don't know why I blanked it out. But that's pretty cool. All right, let's scrap those two out. Let's scrap this one. Hey, why did I not select those? The other comments. So this one, and do we want to scrap anything else? Let's take a look here. Yeah, we'll scrap the survey ship. It doesn't actually do anything. Yeah, the best Dota 3. So me and Matt have been doing that on here for as long as I can remember. Matt also used to do that on his stream as well when he was streaming. So we'd go back and forth. Good stuff. Let's take a look here. And just something we've kind of kept up the rivalry. We've always kind of been each other's rivals in most of our games. This scrub comes in late 90s. Yeah, probably like late 90s. Comes walking in there. He's got a Chimera Magic the Gathering deck. I'm like, what the hell is this guy? Let's play. And then I shaped him into a champion. I gave him the Rocky 4 treatment. We went out into the woods. 6 feet of snow. Had him punching bears. It was a good time. Ooh, can we get our hands on that arc? Probably not. Let's take a look here. Maybe. Do I have vet pilots? Of course I got vet pilots, so I don't want to scrap that. 4, 5. Why am I always like one away from like the cool purchase before I gotta flip? Yeah, exactly. That is the very cool thing. So I think punching grizzly bears. I got what you're picking up what you're dropping there, Ballot Radio. Like I said, so my introduction. So Matt moved away. He used to live up here, and then moved away, and then he'd come back to visit like once or twice a year. He's got family here. He'd come to visit, and then he'd come hang out with me for a couple days. And this is early 2014. And he's like, yeah, this game came out, and their app for it just came out. And so he sat down and showed me Star Realms. And I'm like, all right, it's kind of cool. Whatever. This is just when the base set was out. Nothing else was out. And the app had just come out. And so he showed me the app, and I didn't really think too much of it. But then I noticed he was like getting like turns in left and right, like while he's busy and stuff. I'm like, what's going on? And he kind of showed it to me. And then, so then I got the app, and then like right after that, like, within a month after that, he's like, I'm going to make this Facebook group. So we have like a little fan page for it, but also literally what we wanted to do is like on Sundays, you're just sitting around, you're watching football anyways, not doing anything else. He's like, let's try to get some tournaments. Let's get like some little 8-man leagues, 8-man tournaments for this. I'm like, all right. So he made the Facebook page, and there was literally a point where we were like scrambling to try to get 8 people to play in a tournament. And then that eventually went into like the Sunday casual tournaments where, 100+ people every time signing up. And then, then all these other tournaments and leagues, endurance, dodgeball, Dion's multiple leagues, like I said, the Big Brother events that Eric used to run, Survivor, there was a Survivor thing, all sorts of stuff. Following the Origins Actions Facebook group. Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so that's the thing. Same thing. Like people posting. The community aspect is literally what has kept myself. I'm sure Matt probably would say the same. It's kept some of us like, that's the reason we still play. Or have played this for so long. The community is like kept it going, and not just like on life support, but like kept it thriving. We have a Facebook page that's not run by the company. We run it. It's our show. We're fans of it. We support it. Obviously, we have a good working relationship with them. But 5,000 members, extremely community centric. We have a 5,000 member Facebook gaming group that has 2 admins. And Nathan's basically said he's not there full time. Basically, he's like kind of doing his thing, and that's totally fine. It runs itself. It is very cool. I can't say enough about it. Our community, our group. I guess we do end up having to pop that. Like drama free, and again, but the cool thing about the group is the leagues, the organization. Anyone that's been in Star Realms Dodgeball, the endurance leagues, and then especially the board game geek leagues as well. Those, you got the Pan Galactic League, you have the regular board game geek leagues, you have the Nebula Minor League, King of the Hill they used to have on there. That was a lot of fun. And then you've got over on our side, the SRPC, the World Battle Circuit, Lunar Landing Series, endurance team events pop up. It just, people are just doing stuff all the time. Al used to run a mentor program. A lot of people might not be aware of that. Silent Al used to run where he would take people that would volunteer to be mentors or people that wanted to be mentored. And then he would find out a little bit about them. And then he'd kind of match them up with someone to be a mentor for them. And it wasn't, to me, I thought it was just like he just like found someone who wanted to be a mentor and someone who wanted to be mentored and just patch them. No, he's like, he'd find out a little bit about them, make sure you're like a good like match, as far as like time-wise availability, even sometimes like kind of like their preference or communication style and things. He took it a step further. And yeah, like Dan's saying there too, he was part of that. It's very cool. It was a nice way for people to like grind some games, get some feedback from someone. And that kind of evolved to, we didn't really have a need for that as much anymore. So he kind of dropped that off. And then, but now every time we have new people come in, you see the posts. Like I make sure I get a post in there weekly, welcoming new members. And we have community members that are welcoming them, offering them to send challenges. And then people, when they're comfortable enough, they'll ask like, hey, I'm kind of new to the game. I have questions. Anyone, this and that. And you'll see like people pounce on that and they'll answer questions right away. And they'll, provide the links to articles and podcasts and whatever else, or just even say, hey, why don't you send me some games? I can give you some feedback. It's very cool. It's very refreshing. I think a lot of us have been part of some very toxic game groups in the past. I used to admin a local just video game group and some buy-sell groups and trading groups and just playing groups. And they all just crash and burn at some point. Because I don't know why people, the internet does what the internet does. But our group has been very lucky having like very little of that effect on our group. It's been very positive. So very good stuff. Yeah, I agree. I appreciate that, Dan. Like I said, people, they hear that, but I mean, it's legit. Let's go ahead and pop this here. Yeah, we're not going to get another yellow, unfortunately. And then we're going to get 3. Let's grab the fusion bot's kind of like that destroyer bot. If I happen to get a scrap with it, cool. Otherwise, it's solid 5 damage. I'm taking that. Yes. That is another cool thing about it. Like Tuff was pointing out, a deck builder is cool like this too because you're buying it. You know what you're getting. There's no chase cards. You're not going after the ultra rare Japanese alt art, Cloud from Final Fantasy now, which is $500 or some nonsense like that. You're not going for a serialized chocobo that's thousands of dollars. You know what you're going to get. And that's the main thing is with this, you know what you're going to get. Also, their model where your account's hooked up, so you buy it once and you've got it available on every platform. That's huge because there's been a while where I've been playing it on all three. I'd have my iPad some places, I'd have my phone on me, or I'd be playing on the computer. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I kind of molded Matt into the competitiveness, and then, yeah, I sold some power to Matt back in the day, and then I've sold my Magic collections multiple times. Unfortunately, sometimes I need them, sometimes I didn't. That's the thing. Most of the time when I sold my cards, looking back on it, I didn't really need that money. I didn't do anything with it. Nothing useful. But whatever. We don't need to go down that road. Matt doesn't talk about it much, but at some point, no, he sold those years ago. At some point, Matt, I believe the number one ranked vintage player in Nevada, for a short time. And if I recall right, I remember looking that up at one point, and I believe he was the number one ranked vintage player for a short time. Yep, back in the old DCI days. Alright, so I got our challenges up to Cisco here. Yeah, good stuff with that. Like I said, it was so much fun. Magic I got into in 94. My friend's brother got us into it, and then we checked it out, and then we got into it right away. And then I think it was winter 95, I want to say, is I went to like one of my first tournaments, and it was at UW Oshkosh. A friend of ours, he was going to school there, and him and some friends were some old school like Warhammer BattleTech guys, role playing guys, and then they got into this as well, Magic, and then they ran a tournament in the basement of one of the residence halls, and I won that tournament. And it's kind of cool. I had like a little plaque, and it's like Grand Duelist of whatever hall. I can't remember which hall it was. I lost that almost immediately. I have no idea what happened to it. But that was kind of cool, and that kind of got me hooked. And then I started working at a comic and card shop, and I basically kind of started there because I knew card games and they didn't. But this is when Magic was hitting, and it was just right before Pokemon hit. And yeah, I hopped on because of that, and I worked there for 5 years. So it was a good time. It was one of those jobs like you wish like that job paid like there's no way it could pay a whole lot more. But man, if I would have paid, I would have probably never left that job. It was so cool. Spent half my day playing card games and shooting a breeze with people, and then doing an ounce of real work during the day. It's good times. Oh man, yep. The whole gotta travel, gotta go to the events. Yeah, we used to go down to like the regionals and states and stuff like that. I used to drive down to Madison. Is usually where they're held, Madison or Milwaukee. We had a fun time for the 6th edition pre-release. Me, Matt, and a couple other guys went down to Madison for that, to the game store where Dan Bach and Bob Marr were there. That was their home base back then, and got to play them. Actually beat Bob Marr in a game, or a match, actually, I should say, in that 6th edition pre-release. Is pretty fun. He was well known, but this was before like his actual like pro tour wins and stuff like that. But he was still just really, really well known top level player. And the main card of my deck that kind of held him off a little bit was Wand of Denial. It's a little artifact. I believe it's 2 mana. And then you tap it, you look at your opponent's top card, and you can pay 2 life to put that card on the bottom of their deck. And so what I would do is I would just do that, and if he had a creature that was like 2 or bigger, I'd just put it on the bottom and just take the hit. And so he kept drawing crap. Yes, that is Dark Confident Bob. That is his Pro Tour card. So then I ran into him a month or so later at, I believe, regionals. And went up and talked to him and said, Yeah, I beat him and I played him. Yeah, absolutely. He's from, Wisconsin crew. And then talked to him and said, hey, and thanked him again for the match and asked him and said, hey, I have that deck actually. I never took the deck apart. Would you mind signing that card for me? Just because it was instrumental. And he's like, yeah, cool. And he signed it. He was very cool about it. And of all my cards I've sold, I still have that card. That's like one of the few that I originally have that I never sold when I sold all my other stuff. I am getting destroyed this game. This is not good. Yeah, I guess we gotta go Hive Queen here. We gotta survive this, Okay, we can finally kill it this turn after taking another hit. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, Matt, when he was here in Wisconsin, was still very casual, just starting to get competitive. And then, like I said, a year later, he was in Vegas and he was playing very, very, very competitively. Let's go and do this here. I think we want to get Shaner and put this guy on top. And then we're going to draw because we also want to get this Commodore Zhang. So we're going to get Starbarge. Okay, watch this. We're going to do Starbarge. We're going to buy Zhang. And then we're going to draw. And we're going to get the bonus from Starbarge. And then we're going to get Warning Beacon. We're going to try to make a comeback here. And because we're down so much, I don't actually think we're going to scrap these Vipers. We're going to just put them out there for damage. She cannot kill us next turn. Yeah, so we're just going to go in. That same deck. That built for mine scratch. No help. Yeah, I hear that. That was my thing too, is in tournaments and events. I didn't want to play, the net decks. I didn't want to play the card for card. And, obviously a lot of people would. And I'll still never forget, it was right around when Urnum Jin, Armageddon, that white-green, when Urnum was reprinted in Homelands. That deck was extremely popular. It was piloted to some Pro Tour win. And my buddy Phil I'd go to with, and he's like one of the smartest people I've ever known in my life. He's just a mad scientist. He's also batshit crazy, which kind of go hand in hand. And he would conduct these like crazy, awesome decks. But then when he would go to like a tournament, he would second guess himself and he didn't have the confidence. And then he would just default to whatever a top level deck was at the time. And it's kind of disappointing because his decks, when we'd all play casual, he would just rock us with these decks. But whenever we went to a tournament, he just went doing. So he kept playing that deck like over and over. And I'd play like other random stuff. And we had a series of tournaments where I would play him early. And then I would lose usually with whatever deck I was playing. And then we come back and we play like either in the finals or at the end, right before the top 8, and play each other again. And we did pretty good. We were about 50-50. All right, see if Grandma's going to get another turn in here. What do we got here? We got a turn with X2 Wolf. Oh my. So now X2 Wolf puts out the Outpost to defend the Infested Moon, which is going to hit me again. So now I got to decide if I want this Blockade Runner, which I think probably is a good idea, or if I want to get the Patrol Bot, get some life. I think we're going to grab the... Oh, man, he's like all blue. No, he's not. He's yellow, too. Yeah, I'm going to grab the Blockade Runner. Let's go ahead and scrap that out. That's unfortunate. But there we go. Finally going to get some damage to take that out. But, of course, it means I'm going to bottom deck this stuff. That's not fun. Definitely not fun. Oh, I know what we didn't do. Let's check out the foil shop. Mark it on the calendar. There's a new card. Transit Nexus Avatar. Yes, we will buy that. That's no moon. Or I'd also accept the Mooners from Greece. Attention, you so-called Mooners. The FBI has using high-tech gadgets to be able to identify you by your butt. Oh, that's good stuff. I was quoting movies at work all day today. We're in our little side meetings or stuff like that. That's my job. I got to put people on the spot. Name this quote. I got a new guy on my team. He's a super cool guy. He's a big media fanatic, and he's got like 1,000 DVDs and 1,000 VHS. And he has like all this physical media. He shared some pictures. He's a big movie buff, which is awesome because then I like to crack random movie quotes on him. Like, where's that from? And he's pretty good. He's got him down. I'm impressed. But a lot of times I'll just bust out some random 80s movie quote because it's stuck in my head. I don't know why. And then everyone just looks at me like, what are you talking about? I don't know. Just work with me. All right, let's kill that. Let's grab... I guess nothing yet. I'm going to grab this after the fact. Let's just go ahead and cycle. He has special taste. He likes to watch. There we go. We're going to get some ally there. We'll grab the old laser. That's just one of my... I don't know why that quote always sticks in my head. There, I'll pass it over. So, all right, guys. It is getting about time. We're getting through the queue here. I think this old man is getting ready to call it at night. I do appreciate everyone for stopping out. Again, thank you, VQ, for sending over the raid. Again, Origins was such a blast. We'll be getting the promos ready to start giving out on stream. Next week is tentative. Again, it's 4th of July. It's 3rd of July, but they do a lot of 3rd of July, 4th of July stuff here. So I need to check on schedule for that stuff if we're doing anything as the family, or if I'll be streaming. So just keep an eye out for that. And then, yeah, I think that's it. So I know Gen Con's coming up real soon. I know we got some peeps going to Gen Con. Dion said he's going to make it out there. So very excited to hear his report from that. I think that's about it. So yeah, great match with Matt tonight. Again, thank you for stopping in, everybody that stopped in. Dubs, Tough, Siffle, Dion, Pallid Radio, thank you for stopping in as a first-time viewer. Appreciate that and appreciate the challenge as well. As I mentioned, BQ, thanks for sending over the raid with the early crew. And anyone else I missed, it's not because I'm trying to be disrespectful. I don't remember what I'm saying half time in the middle of a sentence. You get it. I work with what I got here, so. All right, it's been a great stream. I appreciate everyone stopping in. And we will cue the Van Halen. Have a great night.